Hello, I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and today we are kind of reviewing the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins.
I'm sorry, Mel.
And I'm sorry to our listeners, broad stroke apology.
Broad stroke. Another broad stroke.
That needs to be a t-shirt, broad stroke apology.
It really does. Okay, I'll write it down.
Okay. So what's going on with you? Why are you in a good mood today?
Well, I wasn't until I got on the phone with you.
Okay.
Happy St. Patrick's Day late.
Yeah.
And I know you're in recovery.
Yeah.
So this isn't a big deal for you, but like yesterday I did not have one beer or anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm officially old.
Yeah, you're like, oh, not even for St. Patrick's.
I'm like, no, I had to record at 7 o'clock this morning.
You're not old. You're just vain. You're like, I don't want liver spots. I don't want wrinkles. I don't want a hangover. I don't want any of that stuff.
And I had to be on video this morning.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So there's just no way that can happen. I can't. Yeah. If you guys get on YouTube now, you'll see that like my hard work of not drinking on St. Patrick's Day paid off.
Yeah, she's glowing, guys.
I'm glowing.
By the way, did you get the pellet?
I got the pellet. It's called bioidentical hormone pellet therapy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful. What was the process like?
Well, first I don't think a lot of people talk about it because once I decided to get it, I go, I think I'm going to get it. Like 90 of my friends are already doing it.
Okay. They've been doing it since like 19,
They got it out of high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so it's basically, it's plant hormones that they take a little tiny cut and they insert a pellet the size smaller than a grain of rice in there, and it just kind of goes into the meat of your butt. Like it didn't hurt at all. It was like a little pinprick, and they numbed it, and then they put that in there. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have like a bandage on there for 3 days, and you're good to go. And you start to feel the effects within 3 days.
Oh, okay. So you just got it today.
No, I got it 4 days ago.
Oh, and are you feeling the effects?
Okay, here's the problem. Because I've just eliminated an immense amount of stress out of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's that relationship that's no longer that was stressing me out so bad, or is it the pellet therapy?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've slept really well. That was from the day one I got it. I slept really well. But I got to tell you, you got to have your blood run because my testosterone level was at a 30. The average woman is 120 or above.
Really?
Yeah. So she goes, no wonder you're feeling sluggish. No wonder you're feeling brain fog. No wonder you're feeling exhausted. I mean, I haven't worked out in like 6 or 8 months, and I just haven't wanted to. And then, so this is the good part. So it's good. It's supposed to help with like losing weight and everything.
Yeah.
The best. So I thought after I got it, I would hop on the scale and get a before weight. But I had already lost 5 pounds, girl.
Girl, how'd you do that?
I don't know. I think it was out of stress.
Stress, yeah.
Yes, But so I was like, wow, this thing worked fast.
So this hormone thing, it slow releases hormones like for a few months?
And you have to 3 months, 3 to 4 months, they said. I was like, sign me up. I'll see you in 2.5 months then.
Yeah.
I don't want mine to run out.
what hormones does it release? Just all different ones that depending on your needs?
You have to get your blood work done. And I was low on D, just slightly. And
Sorry.
wouldn't you? Okay.
I'm also low on D.
Yeah, we're all low on D, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
We need D. We need D. And then I was low on the testosterone and low on zinc, which I don't know how that is. But they'll run it through. You could be low on estrogen, they can work that into the pellet. They can work like stuff like that. So,
And it's smaller than a grain of rice? Mm-hmm. So this is what I don't understand.
okay.
And you might not be able to explain it to me.
I've just had it done, so I'm an expert now.
When I take vitamin D pills, zinc pills, those are big pills. How is a pellet smaller than a grain of rice able to release 3 months worth of vitamin D into my butt?
Well, I don't know exactly.
We're gonna have to afterbirth that.
Well, afterbirth that, I mean, it's science, so obviously the layman can't understand it,
Yeah.
you know. So I was gonna look it up, but now it's doing a up on me, and I can't.
We're gonna afterbirth that.
We'll afterbirth it. Yeah, I was gonna look it up, but I can't. But I will tell you, the lady was so nice in there. And I got to talk about my Flex cup that I use, our Flex cup and she, as we were sitting there, I sold her so hard on the Flex disc cup that she ordered
awesome.
3 boxes there.
Really?
Yes.
That is so funny.
But she says it helps with everything, bone density. It's 8% a year. She said something like that. Like if you're losing your hair, that's one thing that she said it will help. Headaches. She said it helps headaches. She says low libido. Now, I will say that, I don't think I'm experiencing low libido, but I think my libido has always been rather hyper libido. I'm Irish, so you get it.
Yeah.
But if you're experiencing problems with that, if you're experiencing problem with the wetness,
Like you're dry?
yeah, vaginal dryness. Yeah, this is a freaking scientific podcast right now.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be reporting on this nonstop. But if I start to rage, it's the testosterone that they put inside of me. I do feel fucking happier.
I'm glad. Okay. You're the guinea pig. I'm gonna see how it goes, and then.
Well, I want to say I'm upset that we can't do it together.
I don't even know if they're okay. Here's more afterbirth. I'm gonna see if it's available in Poland.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay. So the
That's
5-second rule.
You guys, I didn't do it. I got halfway through it.
You got halfway through it. That's better than nothing.
It is. It is.
So let's talk about what this book is. This book is the 5-second rule. So the rule is simple.
By Mel Robbins.
It's by Mel Robbins. So it's a motivational tool, a tool of action. So you count backwards to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as you reach 1, you have to move. You have to physically move.
I've always used it, and it works with kids too. Be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. So it's teaching yourself to take action when normally you would stop yourself by thinking through something. So, that's it's the 5 second. It's just counting backwards and then moving. That was the whole book.
Wow. That took 1 minute. And she was selling me so hard on this 5-second rule. Like it changes. She was talking about it changes addiction. It changes basically everything. And I think you could probably 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 yourself into some good behavior, but you could do it in some bad behavior too.
That's, you know what I kept thinking of when I was skimming through this book is because I don't know how you can write a fucking 7-hour, because we listened to it on Audible, 7 hours on 5 seconds. That's just like seems counterintuitive to me. But all I kept thinking of was one of the previous books we read, which was Reasons to Stay Alive. And there's a chapter when he talks about when he wanted to kill himself and he's standing on the edge of the cliff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. And I was thinking he'd be dead. He'd be dead if he listened to this.
You should actually, I'd like to put a disclaimer here. You should be very careful with this rule.
Yeah, be very careful with this rule because
just be like, I should slap the shit out of him. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam!
Boom! Yeah.
It just happened. It was a 5-second rule.
Yeah. I think this rule can be very helpful with some things, but not everything. However, when I read about her as an author, as a person, I started, for some reason, appreciating the book more.
Well, because the sound of her voice is beautiful.
Yeah, she's got a cool voice. Yeah. And then I started doing a bit of research on her, and she was $800,000 in debt just over a decade ago. And she wrote, I've been there and know what it feels like, which I love that. Yeah. She's had 12 different careers. She wrote, yes, really, including hosting a daytime syndicated talk show. 12 different careers.
Yeah, she's pretty cool in that way. I love people who aren't afraid to make a left turn.
Yeah, exactly. And she was fired in 2020.
I love people
so
who've been
recently.
Fired.
Me too. Like, bring it on.
Oh God, I've been fired before. It feels so bad. It feels bad. But then again, you're like, you know what? Clearly, if I wanted to be there, I would have done a better job.
Yeah. So can you tell me about a time that you've gotten fired?
Well, this is one time I got really fired for the wrong reason. This is a good one.
All right.
So I worked at Sears and Roebuck when I was like 18. No, I must have been like 19. And we were all bored. I worked in the shoe section, which is the creme de la creme at Sears. It is. Just saying. And we were there, and they had these little magnets that had like the Sears credit card on them, and it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the number. So we were all bored, and we were like just putting it in the cashier or the cash register and putting in that number, to see if it would go through. We were just like bored. Well, the security pulled us all in and fired us for it, like we were stealing.
What?
I know. It was
You were
scary.
just joking, like just
we were just fucking around. Like it was like nothing. And you couldn't believe it, but it must have been one of their policies. So that was a good one. That was a very good. I can't remember. Like there's several times I've been fired. I've actually been a shitty employee many times.
I've been a horrible employee. Yeah, I've been a horrible employee. I had to
Really
go back
bad.
and make amends to my previous employers.
I've had employees that have had to do that.
Yeah, so I got fired many times. When I was a waitress, I got fired because I wanted to go on vacation and they wouldn't give me the time off, and I lied and said I was sick. And then I was in Hawaii, and my boss called me and said, I heard you were in Hawaii, and I got back and they fired me. I was like, for lying. I was like, oh, yeah. That
was
sucked.
worth it.
Yeah, it was because then I got one of the best waitressing jobs with one of my favorite people, this guy Paolo, and he was running this restaurant in Milwaukee called Beccofino.
Ooh,
and
sexy.
He was so fun, and that restaurant was so fun. And I remember I walked in, and he was like doing something at the bar, and he looked up. He goes, he was very Italian. He goes, "What do you want?" I'm like, I want a job. And he goes, "You're hired. Come in tomorrow. White shirt, black pants." That was it.
Yeah, he saw those eyes. He's like, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a nickname at the restaurant. He called me the Ferret because I would like dart between tables so quickly. I was like a super fast waitress. So he's like, hey, Isabella, furetto. Because I was like...
I love it. That's why my brother called me the dragonfly.
Because you're like flitting around. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, you're the ferret and I'm the dragonfly.
Yeah, if you got a dragonfly tattoo, that'd be way cool. I don't think I'd get a ferret tattoo. Why do you have a ferret?
Girl with the ferret tattoo. I'd read that book.
Fuck yeah.
Girl with the ferret tattoo. It's not quite a New York Times bestseller, but I'd buy it.
But it'll do.
Oh my God.
All right. So what else? Okay. So back to Mel Robbins. She has a TED Talk which got 26 million views. I haven't watched it, but the title I love: How to Stop Screwing Yourself Over. So
I love that.
So let's afterbirth that. I'm going to watch that TED Talk and afterbirth then, just see what it's about. And then she's suffered from depression and anxiety, and she was diagnosed with ADD. So I'm on board with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd like to be her. She's on an award-winning podcast too. Let's invite her to invite us on her podcast.
Okay.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
If we have time, we'll get her in on ours too.
Yeah, good. If we have time.
Yeah.
So I skimmed through this book because I was like, okay, I kind of know the 5-second rule. And she does give a lot of like supporting evidence. But I wrote down like a couple of her power principles from the book.
Okay.
If you want to hear them, maybe we could talk about each one a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm all in. I'm just a passenger here. I didn't read the book.
I skimmed the book.
Yeah, I was coming in heavy in this podcast with my pellet. That's all I had.
Guns blazing.
I did tell Jason to kiss my pellet this week.
Suck my pellet.
Kiss my pellet.
That's good. Does Scarlett know you got the pellet?
Oh, yeah. I really want to normalize hormones and talking about them. I think that women today have a shame factor in aging. I think there's a problem. Men are allowed to be whatever they're allowed to age. We're not allowed to age gracefully. And I think the reason we don't is we'll get to 45 or 44. I'm 44. And we're feeling all these things. And we don't want to admit that we might be in perimenopause or we might be in menopause. So we just kind of hold strong and kind of try to bear down and bear with it. And what if you just went in and did something about it? Mm-hmm. And you didn't suffer and you didn't age at an alarming rate because your hormones are at a 30 instead of a 120. My skin is crepey, because I'm missing testosterone, and it shouldn't be embarrassing. Mm-hmm. I take great care of myself. I feel like I look great still, but I'm not allowed to talk about hormones at all. So for me to tell Scarlett, I'm telling her it's okay for your body to change.
Yeah.
And she's about ready. I mean, she's 5 years from going through a really big hormonal change that I would like that conversation to be a two-way street at that point, open.
How old is she?
She's 10.
She might even sooner because I think girls are now getting their periods at 12, 13.
I got mine at 16 and a half.
Me too.
Yeah,
I got mine
we both
late.
did. I think it was the Buick Skyhawk that caused that. We both had a Buick Skyhawk, if you're not a long-time listener.
Yeah. I got mine late too. I remember all the girls in my class were getting theirs, and I was like, why aren't I getting mine?
I know.
And did your mom explain to you about periods?
Of course my mom did.
Okay, well.
Your mom and my mom, they grew up my mom was like a flower child. She was
But
all about your
my mom
body.
didn't. My mom didn't explain.
I know. She didn't
But
talk to you.
School did.
What did they say?
So, I think the nurse explained what was happening. Like we had like a girls' session with the school nurse, and she told us what was happening. Oh, and then this is like one of the memories I have. This was in like 5th grade, and then the nurse said, "If you want to come sit with me at lunch, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer your questions." And so all the kids went out for lunch and they went out for recess, and I saw the nurse sitting alone, and I felt so sorry for her, so I just went and sat and had lunch with her.
But did you talk periods?
Yeah, I asked her a bunch of questions, and I think the universe knows. Like, the universe returned my kindness, because then when I got my period, I kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
of that nurse. So I forgot what her name, but I just wanted to thank her, and and that was really nice.
All the nurses, a broad stroke
Yeah.
thank you for everything
all
you do.
the nurses. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, my mom explained it in great detail when I was like 13. And then it was dead silence until I was like, oh my God, like you should have seen this one little, like, I can't remember if it was a pad or a tampon, but it was pretty like, I carried it always just in case. You
Yeah.
never know. Because I was
Yeah.
like, for about 3 years straight, I was highly
waiting for it,
anticipating
yeah.
this.
Today's the day.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
Yeah. So did you, because I didn't use tampons for a long time, because I just, like, my mom came from Poland. There was no tampons. It was just like, you know.
You like shaved a sheep and put that under your sleeve.
Just used yesterday's sock.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, but so did you use tampons right away, or did you do pads first?
I tried tampons right away. I felt like a real big girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've used them ever since. I hate pads. I think they're disgusting.
Yeah.
The way they feel. But now I've got the flex disc, so I am discing.
I love
I'm
the flex
flexing.
discs. I need to order some more of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember the first time I used a tampon, I was in Great America, and we were going, like, I was with my friend, and we were supposed to go on all the water rides, and I got my period, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I didn't know nobody explained anything to me. So I had to figure it out myself. There was no YouTube. I couldn't Google how to put in a tampon.
I've got the tampon box like memorized.
Yeah.
That was before phones. You would just read the tampon box.
Yeah.
Toxic shock syndrome. I was sure that I was going to die of that.
Do you know my friend actually had toxic shock syndrome?
What?
Yeah, my
all
friend
right.
Joy, she had toxic shock.
Joy. And what's her last name? Should we get her like on?
No.
We'll post a picture of her on Instagram.
She died. Not from toxic shock, but
Oh, I was like, no, it happened.
yeah,
What did
no.
she die of?
I think an overdose. She was a friend from, yeah, I've had a lot of friends go. Friends that I've tried to like contact now that I'm sober. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get in touch with my friends. And a lot of them have died, you know?
Yeah, I've lost a lot of friends to addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay.
Well, I'm sorry, Joy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for your loss of Joy.
Yeah, she survived toxic shock, but in the end, the pipe got her.
Stop making me laugh about this. It's bringing me joy, and I don't like it.
Okay. Let's do a banter break, and then we'll come
All
back
right.
and talk about the book.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all for listening to the We Need Help podcast. We actually need your help. You can become a member of the We Need Help movement. Izzy, can you tell us how?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this really cool service called Patreon where you can support artists, people doing different projects, people like us. You basically go to the www.patreon, that's patreon.com/We Need Help podcast. And you can subscribe a monthly donation every month. stipend. Yeah, for just $1 a day,
Just
you would be
$1 a
helping us
day.
out greatly. And if you become a Patreon, you get access to exclusive content. You get a say in what we do, because every month we're going to be picking somebody and they get to pick a book that we're going to review. So you actually have a bit of a say in the art that we produce, which is really cool.
And you get to go to heaven.
Yes. That's the number one thing. You get to go to heaven. So
If you don't do it, you're going to hell. But if you do it, you get eternal life.
how awesome is that? For just $1 a day, eternal life.
I mean, eternal life for $1 a day.
So again, we would really appreciate your support. It costs money to do this, by the way.
It costs money.
It
and
does.
time.
Yeah,
and
we
money
were
and more
shocked.
money.
We were shocked. We're like, what?
But
So-
I do want to say thank you guys for listening, and we would appreciate any support you could give us.
Yeah, we just want to get better and we want to grow and we want you to grow with us. So that's awesome.
We have big plans.
We got some big plans. So please become a part. Log on to www.patreon.com/we need help podcast, written together. And Patreon is spelled patreon.com/we need help podcast. And then you just click on become a Patreon. You can do PayPal, you can do credit card, you can put it on whatever. We don't care how.
We don't
Just
care how
do
you
it.
give us money.
Just do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you so
Thank
much.
you. We love you.
Welcome back.
We're here. Nino, 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 Nino.
That was a good one. I like that,
That
one.
was a good one. Yeah. So this book, yeah, we both skimmed it. My
I did
favorite,
skim it.
yeah, my favorite quote is, "You can't control how you feel, but you can always choose how to act." And I really like that one. That's been, you mentioned like in the very beginning that she said this can even help with addiction. It does. I remember when I was trying to get sober, I was all caught up in my feelings, and my mentor was like, I don't care how you feel, I care about what you do. And it's that,
Yeah.
the habits that change the way you feel. You can't think your way to feeling better, but you can act your way to feeling better. So
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I think that that's a great rule if you are making decisions, like, out of, like, because you love somebody else.
what do you mean?
You know, like, you feel that you love them, so you might, like, stay longer, or you might do something that you normally wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And, like, taking that feeling out is usually the right thing to do.
Yes. Oh, that's a really good one.
You know?
Yeah, that's a really good one.
So
Yeah. Do you use the 5-second rule? Like, do you use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
I always have. With
Okay.
especially with my kids and like my nieces and Scar, I'll be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go, let's do it. Like if we're
Yeah.
getting up to like clean or whatever like that. But like, I don't think I actively use it like she does, like to get out of bed and stuff like that. And I tried it for the first couple days, and it just like, I mean, it does work. It would work if I would not like be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go back to bed. No, but I like it does work.
Yeah.
It does work
Yeah.
for
I use
especially
it.
for simple things. I think it really works.
Yeah. I use it.
You
I
do?
use it. Yeah. I use it. I use it to get out of bed this morning. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, and no matter what, I move. And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. No matter what, you move. You don't think about you don't wait for the motivation to move.
Right.
You just move. You
Action.
take your body and your mind will follow. And that, for me, like, that's the main thing I'm taking out of this book. But the main thing that has worked for me in my life, taking actions that I don't feel like doing, and then I end up feeling better later. Like
Yep.
when I woke up in this crippling, I had this crippling day of depression when I woke up January 1st. Mm-hmm. Got no kids. My life doesn't make sense. It has no meaning. What am I here
Right.
for? And Maciek forced me to go on a walk. And I really didn't want to, but I just forced myself to go on this walk. And immediately after the walk, I felt better. I no longer wanted to, kill myself after the walk. So
Yeah.
it's that action made me feel better.
Every time we talk about that, I'm like, God, that must have been the fucking shittiest day in the beginning.
It was.
Because I've had that day. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, I have this girl that I coach, and she's a super analytical mind. She's a mathematician. And sometimes she'll call me and I'm like, how are you doing? She's like, I'm having a shitty day. And I'm like, so I'm trying to talk to her like about her emotions. And she goes, it's just my body chemistry. It'll be fine tomorrow. Like,
I love that.
She doesn't give a shit because she's just like, whatever. It's just my chemistry's off today.
Yeah.
And she doesn't attach to those bad feelings.
Okay. I like that. That might be something to write in our book.
Yeah.
When we do our 4-second rule book.
You know what this book reminded me of? What was that movie with Ben Stiller when he picks up a hitchhiker and the hitchhiker's like a killer and he's like 7-second abs, or he has like
I'm gonna do 6-second abs or something like that.
And he's like, and he freaks out. We're gonna afterbirth it.
Yeah, we'll have to. I kind of remember it. Were they in like a truck stop where they were like having sex with men?
Somebody was,
Someone was, yeah.
We're gonna have to,
Okay.
Unless somebody comes up with 6 seconds.
Unless that's actually a vivid memory of my childhood. I don't know.
So yeah. Okay, so I wrote down a couple of her principles, so maybe we could talk about them. One of her principles is learn to ignore the doubts. Do you ignore your doubts, or do you
I wish I did.
Doubts? Yeah.
I wish I did. I would be in a lot less of misery if I would take red flags and like if I would accept red flags. It's like I'm fucking colorblind, and I think every flag is a green flag.
I saw this awesome meme where this guy was handing this woman a bouquet of red flags, and she goes, "I love them."
That's me. That's me in all my relationships, friendships, and all.
Yeah.
Oh, red flag, please.
So you doubt your own red
all
like
the time.
when you see a red flag, you doubt it. Okay.
Because I was raised in the environment that I was raised in, which was tumultuous, and my mom was a very loving mom, but she also she had addiction issues and she had depression issues. So I lived amongst the red flags. That was my natural. That was my normal. And to have people who love me that expect so much of me that goes beyond what my role is. I find myself in these, and I'm 44. It's no excuse, as I can't blame anybody else but besides myself. But I find myself in these relationships with like these huge takers and narcissists all the time. And the difference is and I do have several friendships that aren't with those people. And I will tell you the difference, and I know it, is that I'm so excited to see them. Like I'll mention, like my friend MJ, she gives me as much as I give her, or even my friend Lena, or my friend from Chicago, Stephanie, it's all things that I'm just excited, and I want to honor them and I want to respect them.
Yeah.
My friend Jess in St. Thomas is the same way. I really am mindful about respecting them because they are healthy relationships.
Yeah.
But I do find myself in these weird things that red flags are happening nonstop. And I still go, keep going.
It's pink.
We're chosen family. I'll be here for you forever. At the sacrifice of myself and sometimes my child and Jason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think.
Okay. That's a lot.
Girl.
Okay. You need to chill. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Well,
back to old Mel Robbins.
Let's. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop talking.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hate me. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I fucking
Why do I
suck.
do this? Why do I do this?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah!
Oh, so
Okay.
good. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was whew.
I asked Maciek, have you ever heard about the 5-second rule? And he's like, have I?
Like a question is not a question if you know the
Yeah,
answer.
Yeah. So, okay, another one of her principles is quit worrying about your feelings and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes you got to listen to those feelings.
Yeah, that's my
right?
problem
Yeah.
is I don't listen to them or I
Yeah.
don't recognize them. Yeah. Actually, I do think there's a place for that. Because like there's so many times where you'll be like, you know what, I might make so and so feel bad.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable when you know it's the right thing to do, so you should just do it.
Yeah. Or like that day that I was in that I couldn't get out of bed. If I had gone with my feelings, I would have stayed there for the rest of the day, but I just quit worrying about I forced my body to move.
Yeah.
It's almost like I detached for a second and just forced my legs to swing on the side of the bed and just get up and go.
Right.
And that was helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a place for that. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. The power, the power of courage and why you need it. I think we're pretty courageous. Would you say? Where are you lacking courage?
I don't think I lack courage. I think it's like borderline stupidity. I'll do anything. I'll try anything 3 times.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's nothing I can like blatantly, short of like doing drugs or, you know, something that's going to harm me. I'm not scared of anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I lack courage. I think the world is pretty courageous. Although I will say there's like a lot of people out there that like, they don't want to do anything. They're terrified to do anything.
Yeah, I know people like that. You know what used to drive me crazy, and I don't know why I'm thinking of this now, but
Yes.
when I was a waitress.
Let's talk about people.
Liz.
Yes, people
When I
drive
was-
us crazy.
When I was a waitress, I used to like wait on a lot of couples because I worked at a fancy place. And the women who were afraid to order what they wanted, they always looked at their husbands and like, what are you going to get? And that drove me back. They were afraid to order what they wanted to order. They had to like check with their husbands, and that drove me nuts. And I remember one time, I think I had my period or something, and I was just not having it. And I remember this woman, you know, I looked at her and I said, you know, and what would you like? And she's like, and she looked at her husband. She goes, what are you having, honey? And I looked at her and I'm like, what do you want? What do you want to eat? And she was
can't-
like, you know, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that courage
Yeah.
made me think of that, but like,
it's really like, it's candy like to be really mean to weak women. It is. It's easy. Like you got to be
Yeah.
real careful about it because
Yeah.
women who don't have a backbone, it's hard to watch them.
it's hard to watch.
They're annoying.
But I think it reminds me of me, and that's why it bothered me so bad, because there is parts of me sometimes that resigns from myself to cater to somebody else, and that's it's, you know, whatever pisses you off about others it's sort of a mirror, and I think that's what it was. It was like,
Well, you're a self-proclaimed people pleaser.
Yeah.
Didn't you get all into cars once for a man?
yeah. Like I pretended to like cars. I don't give a shit about cars. Like whatever. You know. But he was really into cars, and I was like, yeah, I'm into cars too.
Yeah. No. I mean, I need to have one.
Yeah. It should be nice, but I'm not like, you know.
Oh, dude, is that a 369?
Yeah.
Like-
No.
Yeah.
And I used to actually, and I did that in college. Like I glommed onto the hobbies of whoever I was dating.
Yeah.
I don't do that with my chick. Like, he likes World War II stuff. I'm like, I could give a shit. I like watching reality TV. Give me Love is Blind. Like, I don't care.
And thank God it is.
Yeah. All right. She also has this one of her principles is understand that if you don't act now, you'll miss out. So like this FOMO. Do you have FOMO?
Well, not to quote the late, great Carmela Soprano, but she says more is lost from indecision than poor decision.
Ah.
And I cannot stand not moving forward in some way.
Yeah.
I think that is the difference between people who do something in life and people who don't do shit.
Yeah.
And like, I'm all for making mistakes.
Yeah. You are. You're a driving force.
I am a driving force. I've fucked up. I don't pretend not to be a failure. I thrive in it. I think that's what is the difference between somebody who is successful and somebody who is dormant.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think that, like, I mean, you always hear about all these people who have done great things. They just failed and failed and failed and failed and failed.
Yeah.
And I think that we should, I'm a proud failure. I failed at a marriage hard. I mean, I've freaking failed at so many things, job after job.
Wait, you were married. How long were you married for?
A year and a half. I was actually, so a year and a half, I think it was. And I've had a lot of failure relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a quitter too. I'm a failure and I'm a quitter.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not happy, if you're not here, if you haven't found a vampire yet, so you're not here forever, and you're not happy, why the hell wouldn't you get out of it?
Yeah.
Life is extremely short, and every year it gets shorter. It's like, and like, I kick myself when I suffer for like in anything, and I don't get out of it, because the minute you get out of it, you're like, oh, thank God.
You feel so free. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sure, I only have a laundry basket full of clothes and maybe a coffee pot that I got like petty and took. That's all I have in my life, but who cares? I feel free.
Freedom. Yeah.
Yeah.
That freedom. That's awesome. Oh, let's see what else. Oh, she just says to use it first thing in the morning. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do this. So I can get on board with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, I don't think we could talk about this rule anymore.
yeah, I don't either. It's tough.
Yeah. What are you taking out of this book? The first couple pages that you read?
I already was doing it.
Okay.
I was already doing it. Like, I think that, like you said, sometimes I don't want to do it and I just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just putting your body in motion. I think that's a great thing. We should all just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another good thing to do, and sometimes I do this, I pretend that I have a film crew on me.
That's so fun.
It's so fun. And you wouldn't believe the shit you get done or how funny you are. Even when no one's around and you're like,
That's amazing.
just a little bit, you step up your game a little bit.
You're a little brighter, a little shinier.
Yeah, you're a little kissy, kissy, kissy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And every time you step into your bedroom, you're like, and this is where the magic happens.
This is it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you don't do anything weird.
Yeah. You don't fart, like even in front of yourself.
No, you're embarrassed. Yeah.
Or if a fart squeaks out, you're like, that'll be edited out, right? Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is motivational.
That's the book we should write. Not
Yes.
the 5-second rule, but the pretend you have a film crew on you at all times rule. That book needs to be written.
100%. Pretend the paparazzi's right, like clicking pictures right outside your house. Like, I think the paparazzi's watching me.
You do. That's your style. You've even proclaimed that is your sense of style. You are
I'm celebrity on the down low. That's my styling.
Yeah.
That's how I dress. Like,
I love that. All right. Well, what I'm taking out of this book is also just the moving of the body.
Yeah,
Like,
which you were already doing.
I was already doing anyway, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue on.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm sorry that we made this podcast last 35 or 40 minutes, but I mean, it's a 5-second rule.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can turn it off now.
I actually did turn it off. I thought she was serious.
I meant to our listeners, all 3 of them. No, what was I gonna
let's
say?
talk about you're going to talk about our next book. If you want to read along with us, we now will have the next book on our Facebook page and on our Instagram or at the beginning, so you can click on our Audible link. Yeah. So you can read along with us. Our next book is the Narcissist Playbook.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to read this.
Oh my goodness. It is everything we all need to read. Okay. I've read it. That's why I didn't do the 5-second rule.
You got into the Narcissist.
The Narcissist Playbook. It is a hand guide to realizing that you're being manipulated. And even like the best parts about it is you'll realize that you actually use some manipulation techniques yourself. Yeah. A lot of times they're to influence, not to quite to manipulate, but I
noticed it this week. I use tears sometimes.
Ooh.
Not like fake crying, like I'm really crying, but I'm like, hey, wait a second. Yeah. Is this more to show that I'm upset, or am I really this upset down to my core? And a lot of the times it's to show. So I can't wait.
Let me ask you this. Did your mom do that? Was your mom doing that?
She was a crier. She was a crier. Yeah.
I noticed a lot of like my mom's stuff like came to me, and I'm like, okay, wow. Like everybody has to read this book. Okay. It's so good. I cannot wait. It's by Dana Morningstar, The Narcissist Playbook. And I'm going to post it on our page. I'll post it everywhere. Great. And then, like I said, we are now affiliates to Audible and Amazon. So we're going to like start doing book clubs so we can all read together and start like experiencing this book together. It's going to be so good.
That's awesome. Yay. Yeah. Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Okay. I love you. See you next Tuesday.
You. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them, and we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks, loves. Bye.